I've got an uncomfortable truth that I need to share with you today. I'm not proud of it, but I feel like you need to hear it. All right, so over the weekend, there was a documentary that Kyle, my partner, and I watched. And this documentary is called Buy Now on Netflix. And it's all about consumerism and brands and how they know the exact science in order to get us to buy whatever they are selling. And there's so much waste that is going into landfills and ending up in the ocean. Like, it's becoming a serious epidemic. And this video was like, whoa. And it had me reflecting on my time of being a shopaholic. And, you know, that's a really uncomfortable truth to talk about. But I really feel like I have to share this with you because we are so honest and open with each other. I kind of want to talk about where I came from to now. And it might surprise you. I have my mushroom coffee. It is delightful. So, back several years ago, before we moved into a bus, I had my own grooming salon, and I made a very lucrative living out of my salon. And in doing so, I started networking and hanging out with a different group of friends that were very much into designer things. And in addition, I really didn't have a whole lot of time in my day. And so I ordered Amazon a lot. Most times, like, I didn't have time to grocery shop, so I would order from DoorDash or Uber Eats or some delivery service, and there's so much waste that comes along with that. And then the Amazon packages of things, oh, I need this, and so here's my phone, buy now with one click. And I would have so many boxes at my front door because we lived in an area where same day delivery was a thing. It was serious overconsumption. And now that I look back, it was really gross. It was really, really gross. So I'm gonna do my makeup while we chat. You know, I fell in love with designer stuff and style, and I felt like every time I bought something, every time I got something in the mail, it was like this hit of dopamine, right? Not really thinking about how that garment was made, where that garment came from. I really started developing my own style, but I also spent a lot of money on these labels, just these designer brands that really, in the grand scheme of things, wasn't high quality. It just had a name on it. But I felt like, oh, I'm wearing these designer things. I fit in finally, you know, never fitting in school. And so with my marriage kind of crumbling, trying to run my business, I'm so overworked and overloaded. I am buying these things as like this dopamine hit of joy. Oh yes, I love this. Oh yes, I love this. So in late 2019, we have this Hail Mary. Like, Kyle comes up to me one day after us just being so burnt out. Like I said, our marriage was burnt out. Relationships with our kids was burnt out. We were so fed up with keeping up with the Joneses, with all the crap. We decide to buy a vintage bus because we've had the RVs and we saw how they were made. Not really making it based on the earth at that time and conserving things. We bought it because we just knew how cheap RVs are made and how quickly they fall apart and how they're always broken. So we buy this vintage bus and we have to start downsizing because obviously all the things in the house are not going to fit in the bus. We are also selling our house and putting it on the market, which means all the crap has to be out of it. And that was my first real eye-opener as to how much ish we really had, not just in clothes, but in furniture, in dishware, in cups. Like, I had a ridiculous collection of Disney cups. We went to Disney a lot. So many things that were unnecessary that we really didn't need, but we bought because that's what we thought we were supposed to do. You know, these brands are really, really good at making you feel like you need everything in the set rather than just loving one thing fully. So, you know, as we're downsizing, we're having these yard sales, and I'm seeing how much crap we have. I mean, just tons of stuff that we gave away, we put out by the curb for free that we wanted people to come and get. That was my eye-opener to, oh, I have too much stuff. I don't need all of these things. So we finished remodeling our bus and move into it. And remember how I said before, like we were very into, okay, cool, we'll just order it on Amazon, buy it now. Well, here's the thing about moving into a bus is that you really don't have an address where you can send these things to. Getting mail on the road is crazy difficult. And so right there, boom, we were kind of cut off from Amazon and ordering online, which means that cut so much of our spending and our waste. Like, think of all the cardboard boxes that Amazon has. And like the Netflix movie says, there's no away. You know, we say throw away. There's no away because it has to go somewhere. And the beaches of Ghana are full of clothes, like all of these clothes that the companies dump out in the ocean and they wash ashore. And it's so wild how we've gotten here. And I see how we have. You know, I was part of it. I was part of that let me just buy it now culture because of convenience. The world we live in is all about doing the most convenient thing in our life. So because we couldn't get mail, guess where we had to shop? We had to go back in stores to go shopping. So I rediscovered like how much I liked going and trying things on, how much I liked being out in the world. And what I realized is a lot of the stuff that I was going to buy wasn't going to fit me. We really had to transform our whole life into now more simplicity, more only buying what we need. Now, I love clothes. I've always loved clothes. I love getting dressed up. As a matter of fact, hang on till the end of this video because I'm gonna change into my sustainable outfit and I can't wait to show you. But I've always loved clothes. I think clothes are such an expression of my inner self. You know, I always say that my body is my canvas and my clothes are my paint and my outfit is my art. And in saying that, I didn't want to stop doing what I loved, right? Like so many people think, oh, we got to go cold turkey. Oh, I can't buy anything anymore. And that's not the case. And so once we moved into the bus and we're shopping in stores, it helped me realize that I don't need all the things that I thought I did. You know, if it were buying online, I would buy things because, oh, this looks cute. It would never fit me, and then I wouldn't return it. They would just end up getting donated. And so I was just overbuying. Well, living in the bus, we didn't have a lot of extra space. We only have so much room for clothes, for things. Our life turned into much more about experiences rather than buying material possessions for that happiness. We were kind of forced to find the happy within rather than like looking for external ways. In addition to the mail, right? Mail's hard on the road. Finding some place to take your trash out on the road is really difficult, especially if you're boondocking. Now, if you're in an RV park, they have dumpsters. But if you're boondocking, which means you're off grid and you're camping, you have to find places to take your own trash. That also opened our eyes to what we consume, to how much trash we were manufacturing. And so in the bus, that really forced us to take a long, hard look at the things that we were using and to find ways to be more sustainable. Something else that I saw in traveling was how much trash is on the side of the road. Like how many people just litter and throw things out of their car. And so that kind of inspired us to really change. That was one thing I never did. Never was a litterer. Littering is not my thing. I always felt like it really, really hurts to just throw trash on the ground. And so getting to see it firsthand and traveling the country, there's so much trash that people just discard right onto the earth. Something that we do now and have for the past couple years is whenever we're out and we see trash on the ground, we pick it up. We have garbage, little, if we end up getting plastic shopping bags, we use those in the car to be able to, if we see some trash somewhere, we can pick it up and throw it in there. And that has, it's a little bit, but imagine if every single person, when they saw a piece of trash on the ground, they picked it up. Like, the world would be a much cleaner place. Granted, it's going to go to a landfill, but it's better going to a landfill than just kind of staying out there on the ground. Really seeing how much trash is consumed and just discarded anywhere, us not being able to dump our trash anywhere, really changed us. And remember how I said the RVs, they're disposable. This next time around, we were conscious about that. We didn't go buy brand new like we had in the past, because these RVs are literally disposable. They don't last more than 10 years these days, if that. They're coming out of the factory with so many problems with them. We didn't want to continue to contribute to that. So while we could have went and just bought a brand new RV, we chose to buy a 1998 conversion bus and had it partially converted. Long story, didn't happen all the way. I'll link a video in the description if you're interested in our half-finished bus story. But we wanted to be more sustainable. I have this mantra: when I know better, I choose better. In this whole almost 6-year bus life journey, we have really cut down on our footprint that's affecting the earth. We still have improvements that we want to make, right? Like everybody else does. There's always improvements you can continue to make, and we still have to look at how far we've come. I can't remember the last time that I ordered something through Amazon, and it was out of no other option. And I discovered how much I enjoy going in the stores and shopping with other people. Like Christmas shopping now, for the past 3 or 4 years, we have done it exclusively in stores. We have not bought anything online. Kyle and I, my partner, we make a day of it. We do a day date. We go get the kids' Christmas presents all in one day. We have a budget that we spend on each of them, and we don't exceed it. It's not an exorbitant budget. It's about $200 to $250 per kid. And whatever that buys them is the gifts that they get. For the longest time, we did 4 presents: something you want, something you wear, something you read, and something you need. And now the kids, they've changed in their wants and in life. And so we're kind of evolving to meet their needs and their wants. And so Christmas looks a little different. It just has a budget on it, because that was another thing I would spend so much money on and buy a crap ton of things. There was one Christmas, it was 2015, and I remember each of the kids had like 33 presents each. And this is when I was pregnant with Eli. So we just had Molly and Ben. And halfway through opening these presents, they stopped and they're like, oh, we're tired. So then we had to like take a break, and then they could resume opening things. But that was another eye-opening thing for me, where I was like, oh no. If my kids are pausing to unwrap presents, like some stuff never even got touched, never even got played with, there's a problem here. And I had to take a long, hard look at myself, because I really just wanted them to be happy, right? And I thought that's what I was doing by giving them more of what they wanted. I was like, oh, I'm making them happy. But at the end of the day, the Christmases that we have now are so much more special, because there's a limited number of presents. And what they've realized with a small amount of presents is that They need to take care of what they have and have gratitude for the things that they do get. I feel like so much has become commercialized around the holidays and how much you can buy for everyone, when really people don't need so much presence as they do your presence in their lives. I felt like I was really doing something, getting them any and everything that they wanted, but I was just contributing to the consumerism. Now, in living in a bus, I've had to take a long, hard look at who I was and choose better. Choose to bring my own bags to the grocery store. I choose to pick up litter wherever I am. I choose to shop with slow fashion and sustainable companies. As like someone who loves clothes, right? Loves clothes, love that dopamine hit when I get a new package in the mail. So exciting. And living in the bus and living this way has shown me that I can find joy in simple things, in not having all the things. You know, I found a boho fashion line that I love. It's slow fashion. They work with seamstresses in India that allow them to like stay at home with their families while earning a living wage. All these materials are old saris, and so they're being recycled into new garments for people to wear. That is another opportunity for me to use these tools, right? Because I could easily go back to over consuming and buying because it hits that dopamine. I have boundaries with myself, and my boundaries are I can buy one new piece a month, and if something comes in my closet, something has to leave my closet. They have buy, sell, trade pages where we can trade our clothes. So I'm not contributing to buying more, but my piece of clothing gets to live on in somebody else's closet and vice versa. So we kind of all share in these clothes, and it's really beautiful. Had I not moved into the bus and chosen this alternative lifestyle, my eyes may not have been open to all the damage that I was causing. One of my favorite things to do is to go thrifting. It's a great way to recycle clothes and to not contribute to more landfill waste, not contribute to more clothing waste in the oceans. These clothes are practically brand new. Plus, they're unique and fun. They're last season or many seasons before that. And so nobody else is going to be wearing these pieces still. So I get to create looks that are completely my own. And speaking of my own looks, I'm going to go change into my outfit. So give me just a second. Ta-da! Here is my outfit of the day. It's so cozy and comfortable. Fall is coming. I thrifted this dress for $4 at the local thrift store. And then this I got on the buy, sell, trade page for my sustainable clothing brand I love, Kantha. I've also got on this hat. I thrifted this for $4. $4 and put a feather and some thistle in there. And it just like works so perfectly for $4, trade for another piece. You know, this life has truly taught me to be sustainable, to really care about the earth, because there's so many beautiful places that are in our country that it's up to us to take care of. Not only like what happens in our country doesn't just affect us, it affects the entire world, because some of the clothes that we're dumping out in the Pacific Ocean are ending up overseas, polluting their lands too. So garbage and trash and overconsumption never really goes away. It's always here. Stopping our overconsumption, or at least really minimalizing it, is so possible. I know it because I did it. And I know that you can take steps every single day to help your overconsumption. Let's go back to shopping in stores, buying just what we need, not overbuying for Christmas, not contributing to so much waste that's already in this world. I know that it makes me feel better to live a simple life. It makes me feel better not to overconsume. There's no blame, shame, criticism, none of that. We don't hold that here. When we know better, we choose better. It's as simple as that. And so it may take a little bit to get there. It took us, we're going on 6 years and still trying to improve. Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither is sustainability. But every small thing that we can do individually truly helps the collective in more ways than you'll ever know. Thank you so much for coming over today. I am immensely grateful for you and you choosing to spend your time hanging out and getting ready with me. Thank you for being here and for being you. I love you so much.